Amber here. Thank you so much for joining me for this full-length Pilates Reformer Class, Strong Girl Summer Part 2. So today we're going to be working a little bit in the well, and we are going to be working standing on the frame of the Reformer at the end of class. If you are uncomfortable with this, please feel free to use some modifications that we're going to use during the warm-up. I'll remind you of that during the warm-up to take note of those, and I'll remind you of it during the end of class as well when we're standing on the frame. I have my handles on. I have one medium spring on my machine. On my machine, that's one rep. I do not work on the buttons or with half springs. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and take our handles and put them to the side so that we're less likely to trip on them when climbing into the well of the machine. If you're uncomfortable, please feel free to do these exercises standing to the side of your machine. You can hold on right here and try to do the exercises as well. There will be some things that you miss out on, but no big deal, right? So I'm going to begin to step into the well by placing both hands on my shoulder blocks for stability. I'm going to lift one foot up and over my straps to step in the well, and then we'll lift the other foot up and over to step into the well. Guys, I do keep a basket of goodies at the back end of my Reformer. I did remove that for this class since I am working in the well. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how to hold on to the shoulder blocks without breaking at the wrist. You don't want to hold on to the shoulder blocks and break the wrist. Slide forward so the meaty part of the palm of your hand can almost hook onto the end of the shoulder blocks and your wrist is less broken. I'm going to begin with my shoulders over my wrists and my hips over my feet. Or over my heels, I should say. Sorry about that. So I am in a quadruped position. My feet are separated. They're underneath my sits bones. When I look down at the carriage, I have a straight line from the tip top of my head shooting out through my tailbone. It's natural to sway out in your low back here. If you're already feeling it in your low back, draw your abs up and in, draw your ribs together, and tuck your tail ever so gently. Not like a full tuck, right? Just like a tiny tuck to flatten out in your low back. This is neutral spine, guys. It feels funny, but that's what it is, right? So without moving the carriage and without pressing our hips back behind our heels, we're going to do just a tiny cat and cow. Squeeze your glutes, look down at your thighs. Articulate up. Think of pulling through your arms for the extension part of this exercise. Now, round down, squeeze your glutes so your hips don't fly backwards. And then think of pulling your head out of your shell like a turtle. Here's 3. We're going to go to 5. And pull. We're not really talking a lot about articulation yet. We will in a minute, but for these little exercises, let's just get a nice spinal movement, right? Just a nice gentle one. From here, we're going to find that neutral spine again. And without moving our body or moving the carriage by sliding our hips back, we're going to squeeze under our arms, spiral the inner aspect of our elbows to the foot bar. And we're going to pull with a lat pull underneath and release. Nothing's moving but our arms. Our shoulders are just gently working in the shoulder socket. That's it. I have equal weight behind my big toe, my baby toe, and my heel. I'm squeezing my glutes to go ahead and stay in place. My abs are drawing up to my spine. It's a lot of work to be here in this position, moving my arms like this. I'm going to release the carriage back to the bumper. And now I'm going to round back and pull my lats at the same time to move my carriage. So I'm going to come into an angry cat, pulling the carriage underneath with my lats, and then I'm going to come back to neutral spine. I'm not driving my hips behind me. Imagine round back elephant and feeling yourself get punched in the stomach. Another thing that you could be feeling is reverse ab curl. We do that sometimes, especially in mat class. Sometimes you do it kneeling on the carriage. Same thing, but we're standing, right? One more. Now, we're going to reestablish our body position so that our shoulders are over our hands and our hips are over our ankles. From there, I'm going to walk my toe ball, heel my feet in together so they're right next to each other. I'm squeezing on my inner thighs ever so gently to keep my legs together. From there, I'm going to pull apart the shoulder blocks gently. So I'm not rounding up on my shoulder blades right here. I'm going to keep my neutral spine. I'm going to lift my knee up to the donkey kick. Now, I'm just going to come up just a little bit. Depending on how high your body is, you're not going to be able to lift your leg as high as you normally would. If you're in a quadruped position, you're going to be able to lift your leg a little higher. But from here, my leg will lift a little differently because I've lifted up my body. We don't want to sway the hips here. We don't want to sway out in the low back. I'm going to extend my foot with my hips still in parallel and lower and lift my foot. I'm tapping the frame as I do this. If you're to the side of your machine, tap your floor. Go ahead and take a look down at your hips. Make sure they're still squared. Pull your neck nice and long. Now stay up at the top and pulse. 2, 3, 4, tiny. 9, 10. Stay there. We're going to come to the side. I'm going to face my left hand. I've taken my right arm. I'm going to rest my right forearm on the top of my right shoulder block and rest my right hand on top of my left one. From there, I'm going to flex my foot. We're going to donkey kick from here too, but we're going to be able to come to a full 90-degree angle to the side of the body. Try not to shift your weight that's on your right leg and press it back. And then pull your leg to the side and then press it back behind you in arabesque. Draw your abs up and in. Good. Try not to strain your neck. Keep breathing. Squeeze under the arm to keep your neck nice and long. 2 more. Final one. And now we're going to go down and up. Try not to dip below where your leg is parallel with the floor. We're really trying to work the outer glute here. Go ahead and make sure that your weight is centered over your leg. Your leg should be a post in the ground. If you've got your legs swaying to one side or the other, you've let your weight go. So go ahead and try to reestablish that. Stay up at the top and pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and bring your body back to parallel. Bring your hand back to the shoulder block. Bring that leg down. Give it a little shake. It's time for the other side. Go ahead and reestablish your quadruped position with the neutral spine. Guys, this is the body position for a plank with a slight little tuck so that we're not swaying out in the low back. Our shoulders nice and wide. Bend your right knee in, and then we're going to donkey kick it back and parallel and down. Now, on this side, I really love to sway out my low back. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look down or look in the mirror and make sure that I'm not twisting my lower body. 9, 10, stay up, extend your leg. Now, tap the reformer frame and lift it up. Stay in parallel the whole time. Tap and lift. Spiral out the inner aspects of your elbow towards the foot bar. Pull apart the shoulder blocks. Draw your belly up and in. Slight little tuck of the tail. Now stay up at the top of this one and pulse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I feel it more on the glutes for my standing leg than I do for my glutes on my working leg. I'm going to take my left hand, place my left forearm on top of the shoulder block, place my left hand on top of my right hand, and splay my hips out to the side. I'm going to flex my foot, bring my foot to that 90-degree donkey kick position, and press it back to arabesque. I'm going to look down at my standing leg and make sure that I haven't shifted my weight drastically. It's normal for your leg to shake or shimmy a little bit while you're doing this exercise because the load of your body is changing, right? Try to minimize that as much as possible. Here's 8, here's 9, and here's 10. I'm going to point my foot and go up and just bring my leg to parallel with the floor and lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay up at the top and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Begin to bring your body parallel. Your left hand back on the left shoulder block. Come on down. give it another little shake. From here, we're gonna step back and do some plank work. So I found my nice neutral spine. I'm going to step one foot back behind me and the other foot. I am working in the Pilates V push-up position. So my heels are together, my toes are apart, I'm squeezing everything towards the midline. I'm going to press back to a flat back pike where my ears are between my biceps. I'm on my toes, I'll tap my heels down, raise them up, and press back out to a plank where my shoulders are over my wrists. I'm tucking my tail slightly, I'm squeezing my legs together, pulling the shoulder blocks apart. Press back to a pike, tap my heels, lift a high heel, press out to a plank. We're only going to 5, guys, so press back, tap your heels, lift, come back to the plank. We are adding on after this to a single leg plank, pike situation, but if you're more comfortable doing the double leg, please continue to do so. And we're going to press back to the plank. From there, I'm going to bend my leg in so that I can extend it to a parallel plank. I'm going to parallel when I'm over the shoulder block. When I pike up, I'm going to bring my ears by my biceps and I'm going to splay my hip so that I'm in the turned out position. That's the second part of the exercise that we did for warm up. From there, as I come back in, I'm going to shift my body back to parallel. Let's add on. I'm going to press up, splay my hip, tap my heel, lift, and come back into the carriage. Again, guys, if any of these additions do not work for you, please go to the previous exercise that you referred. We have 2 more on this side. I'm back in parallel. I'm going to press out, lift, 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 lift. Bicep between ears, tap my heel and lift. Come back in. 1 more. And lift, tap, lift, and come back in. I'm going to bend my knee to come over the reformer frame for myself personally. I'm going to reestablish my plank. I'm going to lift my right leg up and over. My body's in parallel. Again, we're just going to lift that leg, splay the hip, bring our ears by our biceps for our first one. As we come back into the one-legged plank, we're going to shift our body back to parallel. Don't sway out your low back. Keep that little tuck. Adding on. Lift up into the one-legged plank, pike. Tap your heel and lift, and come back to parallel. And pike. Tap, lift, parallel plank. We have 2 more. Tap, lift, parallel plank. Final one. Bend the knee, come back in. Find the quadruped position one more time where your heels are underneath your sits bones. We're going to do 5 more cat-cows with the same lat pull that we were doing with a round back lat pull. From the very beginning, we're going to sit, find neutral spine, pull the carriage under, come back to the quadruped position, lift our chest. Don't dump it out, guys. Just lift your chest gently. Now, drop your head first. Allow the articulation to travel down your spine to your tail as you lat pull. Now, as you release, allow your tail to release. Down your spine, shoulders, neck, head should lift last. Now, drop your head. Allow the articulation to travel down for your shoulders, mid-back, low-back, tail. And now as you release, your tail will lift. Low-back, mid-back, shoulders, neck, head. Let's try the articulation 2 more times. And now tail will lift first. And now head will lower first, tail last, tail first, head last. Guys, we're all done right here. Do not release the shoulder blocks to step over. For safety purposes, we'll leave our hands on the shoulder blocks. 1 foot, other foot, release 1 hand and the other hand. From there, I'm going to go ahead and repeg my hand straps. We're going to come down. We're going to be doing some footwork. So let's go ahead and add some springs. For footwork, I use 3 to 4 springs. Since this is the Strong Girl Summer, please use your 3 to 4 heaviest springs if you're able to. On my machine, I use 3 heavies, 1 medium. For me, that's 3 grains, 1 red. My headrest is up. If you'd like a neck pillow, please find one. We're going to be working only on the toes today for our footwork. So I'm going to begin in Pilates V with my heels on, my toes apart, my knees are tracking over my big toe. I've already warmed up my neutral spine. It feels real nice. Nice right shoulder blades. And I'm going to inhale to press out on 1 and exhale in on 2. Since we've done so much with articulation already on the warm-up, I do have my heels lifted a little higher than I normally would for the Pilates V footwork. While I'm here, I'm not allowing my heels to lower or lift as I press out and in. Here's 8, 9, and one more for 10. From here, we're going to separate our feet the width of the foot bar, where I have my weight center between my toe and my big toe and my second toe, sorry about that. And my heels are lifted very, very high, Vegas showgirl high, demi-point high, force arch high. I'm going to inhale out. Think of tweezing my sits bones at the top before I resist the carriage back in. And inhale up and resist it. Guys, if you feel like you're still struggling with tight shoulders or tight pecs right now, go ahead and flick your palms up to the ceiling. But if you feel your ribs flare when you do this, draw those ribs in, guys. You're only going to put additional unnecessary pressure on your back. We're here to work in the right form, right? Especially if we want to keep doing some planks later on in class. One more. Press it up, squeeze, 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 and back in. Now, we're going to stay in the high heel demi-point forced arch position, Vegas showgirl position, and we're going to come into a parallel, squeezing our legs together position. I had a teacher call it mega leg. We're squeezing our leg together in one giant leg. We're going to press out and resist it back in. Now, when we press out, think of lengthening through the fronts of the hip flexors so that you don't sway to your tailbone. Also, go ahead and start to notice if your legs want to wiggle around and come apart at any point as you press out or in. This usually indicates a part of the exercise where your legs are a little weaker than usual or another muscle group wants to take over. Let's go ahead and try to leave those legs together the whole time. Here's 9. And one more. And come back in. Now keeping your heels up, we're going to do a water wheel 5 times in one direction, 5 times in the other direction. We're going to press out on 1, lower our heels under on 2. Leaving our heels under, we're going to bend our knees to bring them over the foot bar. On 3, lift our heels back up to high heel on 4. Press out on 1, lower on 2. Resist our forward on 3, lift on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Final 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to reverse. So on 1, we're going to press our heels down, as far down under the foot bar as we can. On 2, we're going to press out. Our heels are going to drive under the foot bar. We're going to pull up on 3 to a high heel. In a high heel, we're going to bend our knees over the foot bar to the bumper. Press your heels down on 1. Press the carriage out on 2. Lift up on 3. Come in and high heel on 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, go ahead and press out. We're going to take our left foot, reach it underneath the foot bar as we flex our right foot to heel underneath. We're going to hook the toe on our left foot and pull the carriage into the bumper a little bit deeper to increase the calf stretch on the right leg. Go ahead and release the left leg, rise up to high heel. Now drop the feet back under, remove the right foot, put the right foot under the foot bar, flex the foot to pull the foot bar in a little bit deeper to really increase the stretch on that left calf. Go release the foot, bring the foot back up to the foot bar, micro bend the knees, and then resist the carriage back in. Let's do some work to the side of the carriage. so sorry guys, I have an itch on my back of my shoulder. I'm going to reduce my spring tension to 2 heavies on my machine that is 2 greens. We're going to do some bridge work to the side along with a few other exercises. So the first thing I'm going to do is scooch to the end of my machine. I'm going to reach my hands long or gently place 2 fingers on the sides of my thighs as I articulate down to the carriage. From there, I'm going to press forward so my shoulder blades are on, everything else is off. Fingers under your sternum 12, embrace them straight up to the ceiling. Now, flex your hands, pull your shoulder blades down. You don't have to leave your hands flexed here. Pull them down as if you're doing the plank again. Draw your ribs together. Guys, again, my heels are directly under my sits bones. So you don't have to have your thighs together, but don't have them way out to the side of it. We want this to be challenging work. So now I'm going to drop my hips down, and I'm going to drive my hips back up by squeezing my glutes, drawing my ribs to my hips. Drop my hips down and drive them up. Here's 3. Here's 4. And on 5, we're going to stay up there. Now, I'm going to march my right foot up without letting my hips drop and lower. Switch to my left foot and lower. Guys, go ahead and take a look if you're able to, and make sure that you're not shifting in your hips and lowering it down. Try to place your heel on the ground. I like to place my toe on the ground first. I find that does funny things. So try to lift and then place the heel down first. 4. Here's 5. Left side. Now, march that right leg up to tabletop. Extend it to the ceiling. Lower and lift. Thigh to thigh and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really drive to that left heel. 5. Now come towards your left knee and away from your left knee. Don't allow your left knee to go wildly to the side. We're challenging our body. It's tiny, guys. Drive your hips up even further. 1 more. Bend that knee, bring it down. Now, left knee to tabletop. Squeeze that right glute, extend it up. Lower and lift that leg. 1. Make sure your hands are over your sternum. Mine just went by my nose. 3, 4, and 5. And now towards the knee, away from the knee. Go ahead and make sure that your leg's not going really wild to the side. Keep your hands over your sternum for nice flat shoulder blades. Ooh, I know this is hard. Bend your knee to tabletop, place it down, slide yourself back, rest your head in your hands. You want your tail to be on there and your shoulders to be on there. If you're uncomfortable, or as much as you can, definitely keep your sacrum on. If you're uncomfortable working here, please go to the floor. 1 knee to tabletop, other knee to tabletop. Woo! This is gonna be a challenge, guys. Inhale, exhale, curl up. Reach your hands long by your sides, squeezing under your arms. Extend your legs to working level. It's hundreds time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 2. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead, squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your inner thighs. Draw your belly button to your spine. Make sure you're not crunching your chin to your chest. Squeezing it tighter underneath your underarms. Long, continuous inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your glutes even tighter. I know I just lost it. Final set of 10. If you can't keep your head up, bring your feet to the ceiling and scissors, scissors, switch. Left, switch. Scissors, scissors, switch. Hold on wherever you can, as long as your leg comes to you, except behind the knee. So don't grab behind your knee and bend your leg, right? Here's 6. We're gonna go to 8. I was only gonna go to 5, but I thought it felt good. And if you need a break for your head and your shoulders at any time, please feel free. Bend your knees to tabletop. Gently hold on behind your knees, on the thigh. Rock yourself up to sitting with control. Guys, we have 2 greens on. Let's do some single leg footwork as a nice little break. Woo. Let's come onto our backs. We're going to find a Pilates V position with our feet. Heels on start, knees are tracking over your big toe. Take your left foot, extend it over the foot bar. Now as you press out, bring your leg to the ceiling. As you bend your knee to come back in, circle your leg to the side and come down to the original position. Try to keep your circle within the frame of the reformer to begin, because you don't want your opposite hip to fly off or float off. Up on 1 and in on 2. And up and in on 3. And up and around 4. After 5, we're going to reverse and down. And so now we're going to circle the leg as we press out, and then we're going to bend the leg across the foot bar as we come in. And circle on 2 and in. And here's 3. Keep a nice neutral spine. Keep a nice tight core, and do not let your hips shift. Like as your leg's gonna come around to lift your hip, rather than you lifting your hip with your muscles. Bring your foot back to the Pilates V. Extend the right foot over. Now we're going to press out on 1, floating the leg up. As we come in on 2, we're going to float the leg in a half circle back over the foot bar and press out on 1. Circle the leg around on 2. Here's 3 and circle. Here's 4. Uh-oh, my hips wanted to shift on that one. I felt them. So now I'm going to really place one hand on the bottom of my ribs, one hand on my hip, or one finger on my hips to try to correct that. We're going to reverse. We're going to circle around as we press out. And as we come in, the leg will float straight down across the foot bar. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. And here's 5. Good job, guys. We're going to move into some short box and long box exercises. So the first thing I'm going to do is change my spring tension. I'm going to place all of my springs on. I like to press my carriage out for short box. If you like to do that, you can. It's not good for everybody's bodies. I'm going to put my foot guard on. I'm going to make sure my safety strap is connected. From there, I'm going to locate my box, place my box on in the middle of my carriage. If you have a mirror nearby to check, that's great. I'm not so good at doing that without the mirror. I'm going to place one hand on the box, carefully come to sitting on the carriage. Don't try to stick your butt on the box on the edge because it'll go off to the side. I'm going to place one foot under the safety strap, place the other foot under. I'm going to make sure I have a hand's width from my tail to the end of the carriage. This is so that when we roll back, our sacrum is protected. Today, I'm going to separate my feet so that I'm pressing into the safety strap. I'm going to take my hands and make a cinnamon roll. So my fingers are going to hook. I'm going to press it into my stomach. I'm going to keep nice wide shoulder blades. I'm pulling apart of my cinnamon roll. Crease at my sternum, look down at my thighs. Pull my cinnamon roll into my belly button. Pull my belly button away from my cinnamon roll. So everything's pulling in together, pulling apart. From there, I'm going to inhale, maintain a round back position the entire time. And press away from my legs. I'm going to hold it for a moment as I articulate forward in a round back to my original position, looking over my thighs. I'm going to round back, articulate, articulate, articulate. We're doing this nice and slow so that we can really find those earthquake abs. Here's 3, we're going to 5. The worst one is going to be flat back really slow, I'm not going to lie. That is my least favorite. If you can, go ahead and go back a little further. But you have to articulate forward in a round back position. Don't press your chin to your chest, just like in the hundreds. One more. Ooh, earthquake abs. And articulate forward. Now bring your hands up, up, up. Pull your arms down. Bring your biceps as close to your ears as you can, but don't let them come behind you. If you need to, bring them forward a little bit more. From there, we're gonna connect through the ribs, draw the belly up and in. I'm hinged forward ever so gently to come out of my hip flexors, and I'm gonna flat back hinge back. I'm gonna hold it, squeeze my glutes to lift up taller, and flat back hinge forward to the original position. Inhale, flat back hinge back. Don't sway out your low back, guys. Imagine this is a plank. You need to go ahead and make sure you still have that tiny little tuck, and flat back hinge forward. So guys, this is a great plank position. We've taken our plank and flipped it onto its back. Squeeze under the arms, nice long neck. Look where the wall meets the ceiling. And forward. Flat back hinge, back, 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 back. Squeeze your glutes and lift up. Let's do one more and then we're gonna side bend, okay? And lift. Keeping that tiny little hinge forward. We're gonna keep our right hip down and reach for the wall and the ceiling meet on the left. Pull up with the right side and side bend to the right side, keeping that left hip down. Now pull up with that left oblique and go to the right. Again, guys, we'd like to see our biceps by our ears. With our feet separated, it does add a little bit of stability to this exercise for us. Come back up. Now reach your arms forward, out of your sternum and 12 through. Now rotate to open your left arm to the left. Now tuck your tail and roll back. Articulate back to round back. Now articulate back up and untwist. Twist to the right, opening the right arm. Don't allow your arm to go way behind you. Try to keep it in line with the twist of your shoulder, your body. Articulate back, reach, 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 reach. Articulate up and reach your arm forward. Now, reach to the left. Do you know what I mean when I say keep your arm in line? Don't allow your arm to go behind your body. Tuck your tail. Articulate back. Reach with one hand, reach with the other hand. Create space in your body. And reach your arm forward. Reach your right arm back with a rotation. Rotating from the belly button up so your sits bones do not shift. Tuck your tail, articulate back. Imagine someone's pulling both hands. One more to each side. Open the left, tuck your tail, press back, and up. After this, guys, we're going to do the ballet stretches and the figure 4 stretch. And come forward. So I'm going to do my right leg first so you can see me hold on to the safety strap. I'm going to hold on to my right leg behind the thigh or behind the calf somewhere. I'm going to hold on to my safety strap. I'm going to round back, begin to articulate back. If I'm comfortable, to stretch up my hip flexor on the left side as I pull that leg in towards my underarm. This is a more advanced stretch. If you're not comfortable doing it, please do not. From there, I'm going to articulate up. I'm going to release the shoulder strap, but not lean back. I'm going to take the outside of my right calf or thigh in my left hand with my palm facing, with the top of my palm facing away from me. I'm going to sit up tall, reach my left hand, or my right hand, to the back right corner and press into the box to increase my rotation to try to look at my upright. Sit up tall, tall, tall. Pull that leg across your body as you articulate or as you twist and look at the back. Come back to the front. Take your right hand off. Find the safety strap immediately with your left hand. Pull that right leg to the outside of your body from your calf or your thigh. Do not hold on behind the knee. Tuck your tail, articulate back again if you're comfortable. Then bend the elbow, come out of the shoulder, use the underarm to pull that leg up and in. My leg always shakes on this stretch. Come back up, take your foot out of the safety strap, place it on the carriage. Bring that right leg in a figure 4 stretch, not on the knee of the left leg, not on the ankle of the right leg. Make sure that you're on the thigh, on the shin. Now, sit up tall, Make your fingers like blades, just like you would for stomach massage. Place them on the front of the box, and now flat back hinge forward to increase your stretch. We're gonna take a couple nice deep breaths here, and then do the ballet stretches on the left leg, holding onto the right side safety strap for ballet stretches 1 and 3. Release your foot, place your right foot underneath the safety strap. Hold on underneath your right thigh or your right calf. Hold on to the safety strap on the right side. Now, tuck your tail, articulate back so you can find that nice stretch down the hip flexor and bend your left elbow away from you, not up here so we're coming to our shoulder. Bend it towards the foot bar to keep your shoulder away from your ear and use your underarm a little bit more. Now articulate up. When you're sitting up tall, take your right hand off, come to the outside of the thigh or the right calf. Take your left hand, place it on the back left corner. Pull that leg across as you press into the box and articulate back in a twist. So pull that leg across, press into the box to increase your stretch. Come back forward, switch hands. So your left hand is now grabbing your left leg. Hold on to that right safety strap. Bring your leg to the outside of your body. Tuck your tail, roll back. Bend that elbow down towards the foot bar again to increase that inner thigh stretch. We're staying in a round back position to protect our neck, guys, okay? Now articulate up, 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 up. Don't release the safety strap until your right foot is on the carriage and your left leg is across your right knee. Again, guys, we're not on our knee, we're not on our ankle. So bring your left leg above the right knee to the thigh and bring your left leg across your body to the shin on your thigh. Make this, the stomach massage hands, place them to the outside and flat back hinge forward to increase the stretch. You are in a neutral spine here. Belly button spine, drawing the ribs together. Good. Release that foot. Keep both hands on the box. Carefully step off to the side with one foot, the other foot. Release one hand, release the other hand. Before we change the position of the box, the long box, we're going to put our machine back in order. Foot bar up, carriage back in, safety strap tucked away. And actually we're going to go ahead and change it over to one medium spring. That is one red spring for myself. And I'm going to switch my box to the long box. If you would like a sticky mat because you're feeling especially slippy today, please go ahead and find one. I'm going to place one hand on the foot bar, other hand, lift one leg up, the other leg up. I'm going to come to the front of my box until my sternum and 12th vertebra are at the edge. I'm going to squeeze my legs together, draw my belly button up and in, draw my ribs together. Don't let your elbows high. You want them slightly below the foot bar. From there, we're just going to press out and resist the carriage back in, squeezing under the arms, lengthening through our neck. Don't allow it to pop up your shoulders. Do not shrug your shoulders here, guys. Keep those shoulder blades nice and wide down your back. Pull the foot bar apart as you push away. Pull the foot bar apart as you come in. Belly button up to your spine, wrapping your ribs. We're going to 10. Here's 7, 8, squeeze those legs together, 9, try not to come up into extension yet. You want your nose as close to the foot bar as you can. Now let's add on, press out on 1. Press out with straight arms to go swan on 2. Press back in 3 and in on 4. Squeeze everything together, belly button up to your spine. Pull up on 2, press out on 3, and on 4. And press, and lift, and lower, and pull. Okay, here's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. From there, we're going to step off. With one leg, step off the other leg, lift your hands. Now, we're going to get back on by sitting on the box and bringing one thigh to each side, or one foot to each side of the box. Squeeze in gently on the box with your calves and ankles, not your knees. So we're engaging through the inner thigh. From there, we're going to reach back and find our straps. If you need more weight, you can scoot closer to the front edge of the box, but don't fall off the box, right? And we are going to do quite a few reps, so you might find that you really like it at the back edge of the box. Find a nice neutral spine. Now serve the arms forward and resist it back. Don't lift your arms above your shoulders. And inhale and exhale. And inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Try not to shift your body to move the carriage. The hardest part of this exercise is keeping your body completely still. Let's do 2 more here. Final one. Now come back down so your hands are by your waist. Now, turn your hands out slightly so your pinky blade edge is closer to your hips. We're going to raise the arms up in a low V T position and lower. And low V. The reason we're not going to a full T is because it's hard on the shoulders. The weight's a little heavier. If you cannot maintain this, go ahead and drop your weight, or you can use hand weights. Here's 6, 7, belly button to spine, wrap your ribs. Don't lean into the weight to move the carriage. And here's 10. From there, we're going to bring our arms up to the hug a tree position and inhale to tap, exhale to open. Inhale, exhale. Here's 3, 4, 5. Pause, inhale. Now exhale to tap, inhale to open. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, go ahead and place your hands in your lap real fast to give yourself a tiny little break. We're going to do hug a moon next, and then we're going to do salute, shave the head, and arm circles. So, we're going to come back to the hug a tree position, bring our elbows down and our hands up. We're going to inhale. Instead of bringing our biceps by our ears, we're going to let our fingertips touch to where the wall and the ceiling meet due to the weight. And inhale to open. And exhale to open. Inhale to lift. Sorry, I couldn't remember what I told you. Exhale to open. And inhale. Draw the ribs together. Don't allow the shoulders to come up to the ears. Now pause. Inhale and exhale to tap. Inhale to open. Exhale to tap. Inhale to open. Exhale to tap. Inhale to open. Flat back, guys. We're not tucking our tail. From there, we're going to make a diamond shape with our hands. Place that diamond right in the middle of our forehead. Flat back, hinge forward slightly. Don't let your tail pop, right, guys? Or your tail to pop up in the air. We want a slight little tuck in our tailbone. And now we're going to press out to a modification of salute, which is Supergirl. You can't have Strong Girl Summer without Supergirl, right? And bend it back without moving your body. And extend and bend. Don't move the body here, guys. Here's 4. Keep the shoulders down your back. Allow the weight in your hands to help drive your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to add on. Feel free to keep doing salute if it's better for you. Here's 9. And 1 more. Now if you want to add on, come to shave the head behind the head. Don't allow your back to pop. Keep it nice and neutral spine and press to Supergirl right here. This move is harder. Supergirl. And Supergirl. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Supergirl. Try to keep your elbows in your periphery as you bend them. Here's 7. 8. Flat back. 2 more, guys. Don't allow your shoulders to shrug. And 10. Now, bring your hands forward. Bring your hands down by your waist. Adjust your grip. Give me a slight bend in your elbow. don't allow your arms to come past the arch in the back. We're going to float our arms up to serving in the front, open them to that V, and lower for one arm circle. We're just going to the shoulder. We've done a lot of arm work, and it's a little heavy from here, right? We're a little lifted. Now, we're going to reverse. We're going to go out to the V first, into serving, and down. When you come into the center, don't come in so close that you crunch your shoulders. Keep a nice wide collarbone. Here's 4. Belly button to spine. And here is 5. From there, we're going to place our straps in one hand. I'm going to turn to the side of the machine. My hands are in my hand closest to the uprights. I'm going to change them to my hands closest to my foot bar. So my arms are going to come across my body to grab my straps. From there, I'm going to come to lying down on my back. Very carefully. If we are uncomfortable working here, please feel free to do this on the floor. You can add light weights if you so choose. We're going into backstroke and then teaser. I'm going to bring my legs to tabletop. I'm going to bring the tops of my palms are facing me. My hands are in fists and my knuckles are touching. I'm going to lift and curl up, bringing my forehead to my knuckles. I'm going to extend my arms and legs to the ceiling, open both, circle down around to my working level or 100th position, curl up. Then I'm going to bend my knees into tabletop, bring my knuckles back together and curl up, bringing my head to my knuckles. Extend both arms and legs up, circle arms and legs down and around, squeeze it to 100th level, bring my legs to tabletop. I'm going to bring my head up to my hands. I don't want to bring my hands to my head. One more in this position, and then we're going to reverse it, right? Keep a nice strong curl. Now extend your arms and legs. Press everything down to working level. Circle it around and up so everything's up to the ceiling. Bend your legs in, bend your arms, curl up. Bring your forehead to your hands. Extend your arms up. Press everything down to working level. Circle it around. Lift arms, lift legs. Tabletop. Bend your arms, bring your head in. One more. Arms and legs up. Press it down. Circle down and around and bend it all in. From there, we're going to carefully bring the carriage to the bumper. And if you're able to, extend your legs over the foot bar. If this is, sorry, I'm about to lose my AirPod. If that's not comfortable for you, you can do teaser in tabletop. Or you can do it on the floor. If your arms are by your side, dip down as if you're going to touch the water. Go ahead and put a little tension in your arms to begin the teaser. We're going to inhale, begin to articulate up, reach down, splashing the imaginary water by your box, and come up to teaser. Now, as we articulate down, leaving our hands up, our eyes and toes are going to be aligned the whole time. So that when our head comes down, our feet and toes come down as well. Now, leave that tension in the straps, right? Inhale, reach down, 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 down. And exhale, left. Now, tiny circles away from the body and up. 1, 2, 3. Don't move your body. In 1 and 2 in the reverse, and 3. Now, tuck your tail. Articulate down with control, leaving your eyes and toes in line the whole time. Final one, guys. Reach down, 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 down. Pull it up, and now we're going to lower the feet an inch and lift it an inch with our abs. Don't move your body. Now tuck your tail. Articulate down, 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 down. Before your straps. We're going to come up to sitting and carefully come off to the side without rolling off and hurting ourselves as we come down, right? Guys, that's it for the box. Oh, right? That's not easy. All right, let's go ahead and put our boxes away. We're going to go ahead, we're going to re-peg our straps. I'm going to come to the left side of my carriage. I'm going to place my left hand closest to the edge and my right hand at the center of the foot bar. I'm going to bring my right leg up. I'm going to tuck my toes and put my heel against the shoulder block. From there, I'm going to bend my left knee And I want my left knee in line with my right knee because we're about to do scooter. I'm going to press my shoulders down away from my shoulder blades. I'm going to make sure I'm in a nice plank position. I want to round back, but I don't want to sway either. Nice plank position. Oh, I'm so sorry. My springs are too light. I'm going to add one light spring. So I have one medium and one light spring on my machine. That's one red, one blue. And now I'm going to press my glutes and come back in. Keep a nice bend in that standing leg. Hold the foot bar apart with your shoulders, with your arms, so that your shoulders are nice and flat. Ooh, that teaser really took it out of me. Here's 6, 7, 8. Straight line from the tip top of your head out through your tail. Now, turn your foot out. You can lift it all the way up to the side if you want. To help with stability, go ahead and press your left calf into the frame. And press 1. And press weight 2. Try to keep your knee tracking over your big toe while you do this though. And try to keep your shoulders parallel to the foot bar. Here's 9 and 10. Guys, bring your foot back to parallel. We're going to be doing flying arabesques. There's going to be 3 levels of flying arabesques. If ever you're uncomfortable, please feel free to just do squats, right? So I'm going to be right here. I'm going to squat down and press my foot back. If you're uncomfortable, just straighten your knee and bend your knee. But we're going to start right here. So here's my leg. Both knees are bent. I've just extended my foot behind me. What we're going to do is we're going to hop and come into a plank, bringing our shoulders over our wrists. And then we're going to press back and come back down to the lunge. And press it up, shoulders over your wrists, press it back down to the lunge. Articulate through your foot, toe ball heel, as you come up and down. Or I guess you'll go ball, or heel, ball, toe to come up, right? One more and then we're adding on. All right, we're going to press up and bring our leg to arabesque. Don't sway in the low back. Bring the foot back down and come to the lunge. And press it back and lift. Guys, the weight is strong enough to where you can go nice and slow to make sure you're not hurting yourself. One more. And then we're going to add on a rotational movement. We're not going to bring the left leg back. Instead, as we come in, we're going to bring that left knee to the right elbow and look down at our thigh. And come back down now. Left knee, left elbow, round back. And down. And round back. We're still bringing our shoulders over our wrists. Now, slowly bend that knee in to come back into the bumper. Through the center, we're going to be doing some knee stretch exercises. So I have my toes tucked, my heels against the shoulder block. I'm not sitting on my heels, but I'm pressing my hips back towards my heels, and now I'm going to tuck my tail and round back, bringing my biceps up by my ears. And I'm going to press out and round back and pull back up here. 1, 2. We're going to 10. Keep it round back the whole time. Nice wide shoulder blades. Pull apart the foot bar. Now, stop right there. Come to a flat back position so you have a straight line out to the tip top of your tail through tip top of your head through your tail. And press 10. 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. Keep that tiny little tuck in your tail. Now, to add on, we're going to do jack grabs. So hover your knees up and press for 10 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't lose that tuck in your tail. 3 more. Now, bend your knees in. Bring your toes to the center. We're going to find a child's pose real fast. You can leave your hands up on top of your foot bar or place them down on your standing platform. You can allow your chest to sink in through the center. for a nice chest opener if you don't have any shoulder issues. Guys, you're going to do the scooter and the flying arabesques to the other side. And then we're going to go ahead, do some chest expansion work. We're going to do some pike work at the back of the machine again. Unless you're uncomfortable, you can do it to the side, standing on the frame. And then we're going to do semicircle, footwork, and we're going to be done after another stretch. So, I know this is not the easiest class, but fun, right? So, I'm going to take my left leg and bring it up to the carriage on the right side of the machine. I'm going to bring my right hand to the outside of the foot bar and my left hand to the center. I'm going to bend my right knee strongly so that my knees are lined up. I'm going to pull my shoulder blades apart and long by pulling the foot bar apart. Now I'm going to straighten and bend my leg on scooter. Try not to shift your body. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, rotate the femur in the hip socket, turn the leg up, make sure your knee is tracking over your big toe, make sure you're still bending through that right leg and press. And then 1, 2, 3. Don't sway out in that low back. If you're feeling it in your back, you're swaying out your back. So slightly tuck your tailbone. 2 more. And then we're going to go into flying arabesque. So, if you're uncomfortable, you can just do the lunge lifts with the leg. But lunge down, wait, you chose not to tuck properly, I felt bad. All right, we're gonna lunge down. Now, we're going to do the hops first, trying to bring our shoulder over our wrist and lower our foot back down. Again, you guys articulate through your foot, so heel, ball, toe to lift, toe, ball, heel to lower. Nice and slow, so we don't hurt ourselves. My calf and foot are in contact with the frame the whole time. 1 more. Let's add the arabesque if you're comfortable. Lift and lower. Don't swing up your low back, just swing your leg out. Nice and slow, use the glutes. 2 more. Ooh, these are very tiring. Now we're going to do the rotational work. If you want to add on. So as you lift, bring your right knee to your left elbow, look into that thigh. And lower. Right knee, left elbow, look at your right thigh. Dropping the head. Here's 3. Here's 4. And here's 5. And now, resist the spring tension to come back in. Stand up to the side. From there, we're going to hold onto the shoulder blocks. Bring one leg up, bring the other leg up. We're facing the uprights. We're going to come up to kneeling. I know it's hard with the quads because they're a little tired. Excuse me, hair in my mouth. Squeeze your glutes to stack your shoulders over your hips over your knees. Sit back on your heels. Depending on how short your straps are, will depend on where you hold onto them to come up to kneeling. My straps are very short, so I'm just going to hold on to the handles, but you could put your wrists through your handles and choke up on the straps if you need to. From there, I'm going to inhale, exhale, to squeeze my glutes, and lift everything up, stacking my shoulders over my hips over my knees, and sit back, keeping my back perpendicular with the floor. So straight up and down like a post, guys. I don't want to lean forward to make this happen. I want to make my glutes, hamstrings, and inner thighs do the work, and sit back. 1 more, we're going to stay up at the top. Now we're going to add on chest expansion. I am going to change the choke of my ropes, and I'm going to pull back, tweezing the bottom tips of my shoulder blades. I'm going to look to the right, center, to the left, center. I'm going to release my arms, leaving my body exactly where it is, and pull back. Now I'm going to look left, center, right, center, release, and pull back. Look right, center, left, center, release, left, center, right, center, release. Imagine you're reaching towards that water that we were talking about in teaser. Right, center, left, center, release. Squeeze those glutes strongly, opening up in the front of the hips and pull. Look left, center, right, center, release. From here, we're going to float our hands up. We're going to do thigh stretch. We are going to add on to thigh stretch with a slight little chest lift, not a full back bend. So, from here, I'm going to thigh stretch back, back, back in a straight line. We've leveled up our flat back and come back up. Do not lift your hands up as a little oomph. This is strong girl summer, not cheating girl summer. So squeeze everything, squeeze those glutes strong to come back up, just like on flat back on the short backs. All right, guys, if you want to add on, you can. If it makes you nervous, but you want to try it, don't go back this far in your thigh stretch. So we're going to go back, lift our chest or our necklace toward the ceiling and the wall, opening up across the collarbone, come back to the flat back position, and come back up. So we're going to flat back, hinge back, lift our necklace, not swing out the low back, come back to the flat back, and up. All the way, guys, come up all the way. One more, flat back, hinge back, lift your necklace, come back to flat back, and come back up. Bring your toes together, heels apart, sit back on your heels real fast, peg your straps, reach your arms long on the frame, rest your head on the what is this thing? Headrest, and come into a tiny child's pose. Take a couple nice deep breaths. From there, we're going to articulate up, 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 up. Before we get off, we're going to take our handles, or actually we're going to take our handles and we're going to put our foot straps on. Because the next time we use these, we're going to be using them for feet and straps. And then we're going to put our handles to the side of the machine so that when we step into the well, we're less likely, we have one less thing to trip on that side. So, hands on the shoulder blocks. Step over, step over. Guys, again, I am 5'6", so I can fit in here okay to do this. If you are much shorter than that, you have trouble standing on the end of your frame, you can try to add a moon box with a sticky mat underneath. But make sure you have the sticky mat for safety. If you're much taller, you can bring your hands further out onto the carriage. We're not moving our carriage for these exercises. So I'm going to place my hands on the shoulder block. Again, I'm using the meaty part of my palm, so I'm not breaking to my wrist. I'm going to take my right foot back, place it on the frame, take my left foot back, place it on the frame. Again, I am working in a Pilates V position. Remember we're going to hold it here for a second. Remember the articulation that we did in the cat-cow at the beginning? I'm going to pull my shoulder blocks apart, and as I come back, I'm going to drop my head. The articulation goes through my shoulder blades, mid-back, low back, and finally my tail is going to press up in a pike position. So I have a straight line from the tip top of my head up to my tail. From there, I'm going to squeeze my glutes, allow the articulation to travel up my spine, my head will come up last. Now I'm going to drop my head, articulate through, and raise my tail. Think of this as a snake that is not twisted. Now tug my tail and press it through. Now keep going. I'm going to talk about some other stuff, like remembering to pull the shoulder blocks apart with your hands or the carriage if you're much taller than I am the whole time. Don't forget to leave that little tuck in your tail so you're not swinging out your low back and putting unnecessary pressure on your low back. Now come down, 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 and lift your right or your left leg if you are comfortable. From there, we're just going to hinge up, flat or pike up. No articulation necessary. Pike up, use your outer glutes to lift your leg up to the ceiling, and come back down to parallel. So just like we did at the beginning, guys, we've just elevated it. Here's 3. We're only going to 5, but if you feel like you're done, please take a break. Here's 4. I say we're only going to 5 because I'm already sweating, right? Here's feet. Lift your right leg up. And pike and splay your hips on one. Biceps by your ears. Come back down to parallel. One leg lifted on and up on two. And down to parallel. And up on three. Lift that leg up high with the outer glute. Two more. Here's four. And here's five. Now, bring that right leg in and down. Bring that left leg down. Step over with one leg, then the other leg, then lift your hands off. We're going to walk around, and we're going to repeg our straps. From there, we're going to be doing a modified semicircle on the carriage. I still have one medium, one light spring on, guys. Go ahead and drop the headrest. Come down. You can gently hold on to your pegs or your shoulder blocks if you don't have pegs. Come onto a high heel position in a Pilates V. So a tight frog. My knees are tracking over my big toes. From there, I'm going to imprint my spine, tuck my tail, keep the carriage in the bumper, roll up to a bridge. I'm going to press out. My legs are not going to straighten all the way on my body. If you do on yours, that's great. But to go ahead and articulate down, I have to leave my legs bent. I'm going to pull the carriage in with my hamstrings. I'm going to tuck my tail, use my hamstrings to keep the carriage in at the bumper, pull my knees over my toes, and press out. I'm going to see if I can straighten my legs a little bit more this time as I articulate down. My elbows are on my periphery the whole time, so I'm not splaying them out. A lot of times it causes an arching in the back. Now use your hamstrings to drive your toes over, your knees over your toes as you lift. And straighten. And articulate down and pull it in. Now we're going to reverse. So press it out on one. Imprint your spine, tuck your tail, and lift on two. Pull in with your hamstrings, driving your knees over your big toes. And articulate down. Now press it out on one. Imprint your spine, tuck and lift. Bend your knees over your toes. Articulate down. Let's do one more. And press. Imprint your spine, tuck your tail and lift. And pull it in. And articulate down. Good job, guys. From there, I'm going to press out with both of my feet, pressing the carriage away from the bumper. I'm going to take my right foot strap, bend my right knee into my chest. Put my foot in the foot strap. Extend that foot long. Bend your left leg in. Find that foot strap. If you want from here, you can put your headrest back up. So we will need it up for the last two stretches. I'm going to come into a frog where my tail or sacrum is completely flat, so I'm not tucking my tail. I'm going to press out and in for 10. Here's 9. Can you lower your feet a little bit and keep neutral spine? Good. Now guys, can we lower feet another inch and keep neutral spine? Here's 4. Keep it there. 3, 2, 1. Press it out one more time at that same level. Now we're going to do bow and arrow. We're going to extend our left leg to the side as our right foot is going to bend and our heel is going to come up to our glute. Now we're going to use our inner thigh to pull our left leg in as we're pressing down with our right heel. So both feet are flexed. So now we're going to bend that right leg in, heel to the glute, and extend that the left leg in, heel to the glute, extend the right leg to the side. Now as we press down through the heel of the left leg, our right inner thigh is going to pull our legs back together in the center. It's called bow and arrow. Some people call it Peter Pan. And now extend the right leg, bend the left knee. Guys, we have 3 more sets on each side. Don't allow your hips to shift. Take your thumbs, place it on the bottom of your ribs. Take your pinky fingers, place it on your hip bones. And try to make sure that you're not shifting as you do this exercise. So the leg that's straight is a lot of inner thigh work. The leg that's bent, that's a lot of glute work to press it through. And one more. See, down at that frog level or that lower level, point your feet. Now open your legs wide to the side and use your inner thighs to close them together at the same time. And open and close. Here's 2. 3. Here's 4. Don't allow your hips to shift again. So if you need to, put your thumb on your ribs, put your pinky finger on your hips, and go ahead and try and make sure that you're not shifting your body. Inhale your legs wide to the side, and exhale to squeeze them together. And inhale them wide to the side, and exhale to squeeze together. One more. Now, bring your legs to parallel, float them up to the ceiling, just like a post. Don't allow your tailbone to lift. Now, lower, 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 and float them back up. And inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. Make sure nothing's shifting or moving in your upper body. Press your legs away with your hamstrings, glute work, and float them back up by creasing at the hip flexor. Uncrease at the hip flexor to float away, and crease to lift. And uncrease, and crease. Here's 8. And lift. Squeeze your legs together all the way. 9. One more, guys. And now, let's do 10 leg circles in each direction, stopping right with our feet at the top like a post. So open your legs, squeeze them down and together, and float up like a post. And open and down together. We're doing 5 in each direction. Guys, when you bring your legs together, they should not click, click. If they are, you're using too much momentum to get there. Let's use more muscle, really shooting energy out of our toes, grounding in through the backs of our hips. And now let's reverse. Let's go down and open and come up till our legs are post and then squeeze them together. This is the one where my legs love to tap, tap, guys. This is my tap, tap area. Oh, I did it again. These last 2, they've tap, tapped. Let's see if I can go ahead and get this under control. There we go. Here's 4. Oh, they tap, tapped huge that time. That was very bad. Always something to work on, right? Oh, yes. Bend your knees in. Go ahead and extend your right leg long. Take your left foot out of the strap. Peg it. Bend your knee until you can find that footbar with your left foot. Bend that right knee in. Take that strap off, peg it. And then go ahead and find that strap. Okay, guys, I hate starting the sides because my butt hangs out the whole time. But we're going to do the psoas stretch and then the inner thigh stretch on the carriage. I do have my headrest up. So for the psoas stretch, I'm going to take my toes on my left foot and I'm going to bring them to the front edge of my wooden frame. I'm going to tuck my right toes in on the carriage and push my right heel up on the foot bar. Now, I'm going to square my hips and then I'm going to squeeze my glutes and tuck my tail to really find a psoas stretch or a nice front hip stretch on the right side and release. Now, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I don't need to move the carriage for this. And release. One more. Find the outside of the foot bar with your left hand and the middle of the foot bar with your right hand and press it down into an Eve's lunge. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I need to take off my right spring. Second time I've done this in class. I have one blue spring on. One light spring. Now I'm going to press out for a split stretch on the left hamstring. If I'm comfortable, I'm going to take my left hand off the foot bar, bring my bicep by my ear, and I'm going to side bend towards the right side. I'm going to come back up, place my hand back on the foot bar, and then bend my left leg in so I can come up to standing. From there, I'm going to face my carriage. I'm going to leave my toe nearish the end of my machine, depending on how tall I am. From there, I'm going to bend down, and I'm going to place my hands on my carriage. My left hand's going to be near the end of the carriage, my right hand's going to be next to it, and then I'm going to lift my foot up and place the ball of my foot and my toes in my headrest and my heel on the carriage. Again, guys, we've already lifted our headrest, so this should be a help. From there, I'm going to press the carriage out. You can go as far as you're able to, or as far as the machine allows, so long as you don't feel it on the insides of your knees. If you feel it there, you're not stretching the right area and you should come up a little higher. I'm going to tuck my tail and lift. As I stretch out, I'm coming more to a flat back stretch. One more. And then we're going to go to the other side to do the same stretches before we're done with class. Now, when the carriage is in at the bumper, slide that foot off, place it on the ground before you release your hands. We're going to go to the other side. So, I'm going to take my left leg, tuck my toes, put my heel against the shoulder block, put my knee down as I find my right toes at the front of the frame on my machine. From there, I'm going to keep the carriage in at the bumper, and I'm going to make sure my hips are square. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and tuck my tail slightly to open up the hip flexor or the front of my hip on my left side and release. Now squeeze and open. Since we've all already dropped our spring tension, sorry again about that, we're going to be prepared for the eaves lunge. So go ahead and press that hip forward, tuck the tail, and now place your hands on the foot bar. Right hand to the edge, left hand to the middle, and press back to an eaves lunge. From there, press out to a split stretch. If you so choose to, you can take your right hand off, float it up to your biceps by your ear, and side bend to the left side. Make sure your shoulders are coming up to your ear, guys. Squeeze under the arm we've been working on in class. Now bring the arm back down, place it on the outside of the foot bar, bend your knee to bring the carriage in and come back in. Guys, depending on your height again, you may have to adjust. I have my toes at the end of my frame on the carriage again, but I'm turned out in Pilates V. My other foot will also be turned out in Pilates V. I have my right hand at the edge of the carriage, my left hand's next to it. I'm going to slide my foot up and bring it into the ball of my foot. My toes are in the headrest. My heel is on the carriage. I'm round back, but I'm going to press out to a flat back position. Again, if you're feeling this on the inside to your knees, that's not the right stretch for you. You need to pull it back a little bit. I've been doing this stretch for a long time. I'm not as flexible as I used to be, but I like to go to here. Not everybody likes that, and that's fine. Everybody's body is different, and that's beautiful. One more. And pull it back up. Guys, when the carriage is in the bumper, slide your foot off, bring your hands off. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Exhale it all away. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for Strong Girl Summer Part 2 on the Reformer. If you have any questions or need any additional modifications, please feel free to reach out, and I hope that you have a great day. Thank you for joining me.